Yo, what's going on, my people? It's your big homie Crooks the Great, aka CTG, and I'm back at you guys with another banger of an Undisputed tips video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips to help you guys deal with those pesky hook spammers that are running rampant right now in Undisputed. Now, I wanted to make this video because I know, and you guys know, hook spammers are one of the toughest things to deal with in the game right now. It's one of the cheesiest, if not the cheesiest playstyle that people are trying to use right now because of the new block mechanic being implemented, as well as just hooks themselves are just overpowered as hell. And it doesn't always have to be a power hook. It could be just simple hooks. People are really just spamming and abusing the hell out of them. They don't drain as much stamina as they should, but you know, that's another topic for another video. But in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips that I use personally to help me when I'm going up against fighters like this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first tip that I'm going to have for you guys is to utilize your loose footwork. Loose footwork is one of the most controversial things right now in the game. Some people tend to think that it's very OP'd because it kind of does throw the tracking off and makes you harder to hit. So because it's that way, it's going to make it harder for hook spammers as well to hit you while you're in loose footwork. So in order to turn on loose footwork, you're going to hit up on your D-pad and you're going to see your fighters start to move a little more freely. You're going to move a little more quickly with your lateral movement. It's easier to circle in and out and move in and out. And that's going to make for a harder time for a hook spammer to really keep you stationary, because that's really what they want to do. They want to keep you stationary, keep you in one spot so that way they can abuse those hook stuns and really start to just keep you in the pocket and just hook, spam you, and then they start mixing it up high-low. So utilizing your loose footwork to keep yourself out of the corner, off of the ropes, and keep yourself open at a safe space like out in the middle of the ring is a very, very viable tool. So I would highly recommend, if you don't use loose footwork, to use it. The next tip that I'm going to have for you guys is to utilize your feints. Now, this is something that not a lot of people were using previous to the update that just happened a couple of days ago, because of the fact that feints were kind of glitched out. If you threw anything other than a feint jab, your boxer would legit just like kind of go haywire. They wouldn't block. You wouldn't be able to block. You throw strikes that you didn't even input. And yeah, you would eat a lot of damage, especially from hook spammers. But they did fix that. So utilizing your feint is a very, very useful tool when you're dealing with hook spammers. Because like I said, hook spammers, what they want to do is normally they're going to try to track you down. They're going to want to keep you stationary so that way they can land hooks and get that hook stun that's really, really OP'd right now. So if you're utilizing your feints, you can kind of bait them into throwing hooks when they when they're not supposed to, and countering it. So in order for you to use feints, you're going to hit left on your D-pad and input a strike, and it's going to throw a feint out, and it's going to mix up your timing of when you're actually entering into that pocket, and it's going to try to confuse. You're going to use this to confuse your opponent, so that way they never know when you're actually throwing a strike and when you're actually not. And this could be very, very good, especially with like jabs, because a lot of people when they jab, they like to step forward. So if you throw a jab and you're moving forward, your opponent's just looking for that hand to come out. So if they react off your hand, they're going to immediately try to hook. You're going to be able to pull it. You're going to be able, depending on the height and reach of your fighter, you should be able to counter it effectively and punish it, which might cause your opponent to either allow you to win on points, or they're going to switch it up and stop trying to hook spam altogether. So that's a very viable tool, the feints are. Now, the next tip that I'm going to have for you guys to help you guys deal with hook spammers is to pay attention to which side your opponent is hook spamming from. So why do I mention this? Because guys like Canelo, they're wanting to hook spam off of that lead hand. Because Canelo does have liver destroyer, they're going to want to try to get you to circle into that lead hook side, so that way you never know if they're throwing up top or down low. So paying attention to which fighter you're going up against and which hand they're actually trying to hook spam off of is very, very important. So if I was going up against a Canelo Alvarez and I know that I see that my opponent is gonna want to go with that left hook, I'm gonna circle away from that left hand. Now obviously that's gonna leave me vulnerable to the power hooking side, but I would rather deal with a power hook from Canelo than that lead hook, because the lead hook going upstairs and downstairs, it starts to create that high-low mix-up that I know a lot of players are wanting to go for. So paying attention to what your opponent is doing in terms of which side they're hook spamming off of is very, very important, because if you can kind of negate it and just get them to throw, to hook spam in one specific area, you can start to game plan around that and start to effectively counter it. So very, very important that you pay attention to that. Now, that kind of feeds into the next and last tip that I'm going to have for you, and that is to focus on what your opponent is doing with the hook spam. Are they going up top? Are they throwing 3 to 4 punch combinations up top? And this is something that you're going to see people doing this right here, throwing hooks with the same side. Are they coming back? Are they going like this, working hooks high-low? You really want to pay attention to what they're doing, because that is going to allow you to create a game plan around that. The tougher one, obviously, I'm going to tell you guys straight off the rip, is going to be people that mix it up high-low, because it's very hard to circle away from it if they're trying to rip your body. But you can game plan around that as well. You can. So pay attention to what your opponent is doing. Pay attention to what they're comboing off of and where you can take advantage of it. It really, really is super important that you decipher that, you figure it out, because the sooner you can figure that out, the sooner you catch on to it, the easier of a time you're going to have. Because if you don't catch on to it until later on in the rounds, you might not have enough stamina, you might not have enough head health or body health to really make a difference in that fight. So definitely pay attention, try to catch on to it as quick as possible. The next and last tip that I have for you guys is to help you guys deal with hook spammers is going to be staying patient. Staying patient against hook spammers is the toughest fucking thing to do. It really, really is, bro, because it's a frustrating style to have to deal with. But the more frustrated you get, the more effective their playstyle is going to be. So, understanding that your opponent is going to hook spam you is going to help you to stay patient, to see things clearly, and to make the adjustments that need to be made in order for you guys to win fights. A prime example of this is my fight last night on my stream against a Roy Jones Jr. that was throwing rear hooks to the body. I didn't have the patience to deal with that. I didn't. So I ended up just quitting the fight because I didn't want to deal with it. I don't. And I'm not going to lie to you. I get frustrated too. I don't want to have to deal with hook spammers all the damn time. It frustrates the hell out of me too. Sometimes I just want to have an enjoyable fight. But a large part of the time, I do have the patience to deal with them because I realize what they're doing. And because I realize what they're doing, that allows me and gives me the patience needed to deal with it and to beat them on points. I hardly ever try to finish an opponent that's hook spamming, because of the fact that even if I land power shots, I'm not going to be able to get them out of there. I'm not. A majority of the time, it's going to be really, really tough based off the boxers that I like to use to land heavy damaging shots to get them out of there. So I just try to point fight them. I use my high IQ to beat them at their own game with my high IQ. So having patience is super important against hook spammers, because if you don't have it, you're going to lose your damn mind. You're going to chuck your controller through your monitor, through your TV. You're going to throw it at your damn couch. You might even throw it all the way across the street with how frustrating these dudes get with hook spamming in the game. So having patience and understanding, you know what? I'm going to have to point fight this guy. I'm I'm gonna have to use high IQ in order to beat them is really important, and it's the only way that you're gonna get wins against guys that fight like that. But that's it from me, my people. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to slap that subscribe button if you're new, as well as slap that like button. It would be much appreciated, so that way this video does get tossed into the YouTube algorithm and more people learn how to deal with this cheesy ass play style that has yet to be fixed in Undisputed, and they have a lot more fun playing the game even if they're running into fighters like this. And let me know in the comment section as well, if you guys have a specific way that you guys deal with hook spammers in Undisputed that I didn't touch on here in this video. Please drop a comment in the comment section. I'm going to be answering every single comment that is at the bottom of this video. But until next time, my people, take it easy, be safe, enjoy the rest of your guys' day, afternoon, evening, depending on where you guys are watching this from, and I will see you guys in the next video.